at the people who are probably selling the puff puff, or at the people who are photographers. People look at them disdainfully as though the air they are breathing is affecting their own space. And I'm not exaggerating. Like I said, I've been monitoring, I've been taking very close attention, paying very close attention to my immediate surrounding this past 6 months. I don't know how and why it started, but it's become a thing for me. I go out and I'm observing everything around me. Some of you look at the handlers at the door, the security man at the door who open the door for you to go and buy your ice cream and whatever. You look at them as though they are smelling. Some of you put your nose in the air rather, as though there's something in the ceiling board you're trying to investigate. Some of you don't even acknowledge their greetings. Good morning, ma. You walk past. Anyway, so at this event, a child, I'd say about 11, walks up to this young person who was offering this service. And, all the children, how children want to get, something that is trendy. People want to get the latest, stick-ons and whatnot. So the child has been on the line. So this person notices, this child has been standing for a while. Says, come, let me put a stick-on for you. Just as the stick-on was about to come on, the person, the service provider asks, where is your mom or where is your dad? Who is paying for this? Guess what this child says? You will not believe the words that came out from this child's mouth. The child goes, do you know who I am? A 10-year-old child, 10 or 11, cannot be more than. Do you know who I am? And the fellow goes, excuse you? Who are you? And the girl continues, don't you know it's my mother that owns this business? And the person said, I do not work for your mother. The woman that's organizing this event today is my mommy's friend. And the person says, I don't work for your mommy's friend. Who is paying? He said, I'll go and meet my mommy and I'll collect money from my mommy. This person looks and says, okay, this child has been here for a while. Granted, she was on the queue. She waited for this long. And she says, as soon as you collect this, go and bring my money back here. Go and meet your mom and bring the money back here. She says, yes, auntie. She collects the stick on, and till today, we're still looking for this child. It wasn't until after the event that other vendors, other service providers, made a comment about this same girl. That this girl is very badly behaved. That she is rude, she's insultive, she's entitled. She walks into people's stands and says, give me ice cream. I am the owner's child. When we were younger, we saw a few of these things, and we used to ascribe them to the very rich people. And I'm curious, how did they even get to that point? Is it that the parents were not paying attention? Is it that, society is saying, the father should work very hard, the mother should support the father? Is it that nobody was paying attention to the habits these children were picking up? And then, lastly, ladies and gentlemen, at the same event, another child, emphasis on the word child, another child looks up to the security man, right? Who most likely I'll place his age at maybe mid-30s or late 20s. A child of no more than 10. In fact, this boy looked like he was 7 or 8. This child walks up to this security guard and taps him. He didn't say good morning, sir. Excuse me, sir. He taps him. Ace, please, can you bring that thing for my car for me? I don't want to go outside. The sun is too hot. I could see, look, we just experienced one, and walking out, I could see the shock on this security man's face. He couldn't believe what it was. The boy tapped him. Yes. No good morning, no good afternoon, no pleasantries, no excuse me, sir, no excuse me. The boy tapped him. The boy cannot be more than 10, ladies and gentlemen. He tapped him. Yes. Please, can you help me bring this thing from my car? I don't want to go under. The sun is too hot. The boy had the car keys in his hand. In my mind, I'm like, the first thing in my mind, whoever the parent is a careless parent. I'm sorry to say. It's a careless parent. But maybe they trust the child so much. Fine. The child has, from his own action, has just shown to me that he has no idea the dangers he is in. You want to give somebody you don't know your father's or your mother's car key to go into the parking lot to bring something for you because the sun is too hot. Ladies and gentlemen, how do you handle badly behaved children in public?
The views and opinions shared on this program do not represent the position of Nigeria Info FM. Nigeria Info, let's talk.
Please turn down the volume of your radio set and let's have a great conversation, shall we? 0817-923-0002, 0817-923-0007, and the WhatsApp and Telegram number is 0809-030-6416, 0809-030-6416. Hey, God, that big. Clement is on NTA. Clement, good morning to you.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Well, interesting topic. Of course, you believe the children are on holiday, and maybe some of them will be going to the market, riding on the side with their parents, everyone daddy will be riding or will be at home. Let me say this, Mr. Jude. If they are listening, there are no bad kids, no bad children at all. At all. I have said this before, and I want to still maintain that statement. We have a bad parents. And I will use the last example you gave when the child walked to a security to say, go to the car. See, the parent is somewhere at the corner looking at the child because the child had refused to go. Maybe they have told the child, go to the car, get the child said, oh, mommy, I cannot go, the son is hurting. With the security, let the security man do it. And the young man or the young girl will go to the security guy and or it is what they do at home to their house girls. My mom said we should. So he will bring that same character to the public. The parent, I'm telling you, maybe they are putting juice or cocktail somewhere, you have to be looking at the boy talking with the crazy guy. There are no bad children. All we have are bad parents.
Okay, so now, Clement, in that scenario, what would you have? Hello? Oh dear. All right, Mira is not quicker. Mira, good morning to you, please. How do you handle that kind of scenario, please?
Jude, I don't know if you are important during this time. I want to mention Bomaire Osima. He was a journalist.
Yes, a broadcaster. I know, bro. I know him.
Yes. Yes.
I grew up listening to him.
Mama Alaska. And Jude, do you know that some of these parents, do you know they are proud of this kind of children? To them, their child is bold. Their children are spoken. Their children are smart. Thereby, they are raising intelligent children. Those children might be intelligent, but very disrespectful. Very. I've talked about this already. That I went to buy something from my neighbor. I think they did well to do. She fell back. She called me, and I went. And she told her son, go inside. Two of her sons, he's fat, plump, all these flat. Parents are usually proud of when their children are very fat and plump, you just allow them to do whatever they like. She said, go inside. This boy in my presence said, I will never go. That is the exact word he used. He said, I will never go. She said, go inside. He repeated it, and he did not. He did not. It was as if his mother was not, she was not even existing. She was not there doing what he was doing, discussing, shouting, jumping.
Miriam, hold on to these thoughts, right? And I'd like you to call back after the break, please.
For more talk, news and sports, stay tuned to Nigeria Info.
We'll be right back after.
question today is, how do you manage a difficult child, a badly behaved child in public? It's one thing to have them at your home, a lot of people are not aware of. And just like a caller made mention of earlier on, that, sometimes he gets to speak to some of these children. Growing up, I think I also experienced that type of scenario, where some parents will bring their sons and their daughters and say, Mama Ju, talk to this boy, or talk to this boy, talk to this guy. I don't know what's wrong with this person. Usually at church, you can see them like that. And I always used to be amazed. I kept asking, why would the child be so difficult? Is that they don't love their moms? That their moms weren't buying them ice cream like my mom? I don't know. I don't get it. Why? But these days, some of the tantrums, some of the actions that I have witnessed has led me to ask, what exactly is the challenge with raising children in 2023? Or maybe in the past, 5-10 years? Because the children who I've experienced so far, who have been the most badly behaved, have been the preteens. Not even teenagers. I can understand teenagers' hormones. Sometimes they're rebellious. Sometimes even the teenager, right, doesn't quite know why he or she is acting that way. And I've been a teen. Some of you who are listening to, even though most of you who are listening to us, have been teenagers at one point in time. And as you grow out of that phase, you look at yourself like, man, I was silly. Why was I acting this way? These are preteens, 10, 7, 8. And I'm very sure, yes, we know there are some precocious children. These didn't look like precocious children. I'm very sure that something is probably amiss for a child to act the way a child acts, particularly one that runs contrary or foul to what is generally accepted as the norm. That is my question to you this morning. Please, how do you manage a badly behaved child in public? We often joke about this. Hey, maybe speaking not going to embarrass me for public. When we hear that, people usually refer to babies. You know how babies can sometimes want to start to suckle in the middle of a meeting, or, like the very funny clip that trended during the lockdown, where a man was being interviewed by one of the big media houses, and then his toddler just walks in, like, oh, daddy, hey, that's kind of cute. But not what I saw over the weekend. Not what I saw.
The views and opinions shared on this program do not represent the position of Nigeria Info FM. Nigeria Info, let's talk.
So 017-923-0002, 017-923-0003, 017-923-0002, 017-923-0003 at Nigeria Info PH is where you find us on X and on Facebook. At Nigeria Info PH is where you find us on X and on Facebook. I'd like to enjoin you to please turn down the volume of your radio set. Refrain from making derogatory or defamatory comments. Didn't see it or hear it. Do not make unsubstantiated and unverified claims. It's very important that you don't do that. I want to get to hear genuine views, genuine stories, if at all you have any, but make your references, as honest as you possibly can. What am I saying? Just make it honest. Well, yes, you can, hide some details if you were trying to protect some people's identity. I can understand that. But let's get to the phone lines. Michael is speaking to us from Borokiri. Michael, good morning to you.
Good morning, Jude.
Good morning.
Jude, let me just slightly move away from the analogy you gave. There is this boy that lives in my neighborhood. His dad is a known cultist here.
Oh, dear.
Now, assuming you are in town, you will know the dad. He's a known cultist in town here. And the mother is of that line to that breed. Now, they have to treat the boy and again. The boy is tossed in the area a lot. He makes noise. He gathers some things of his age mates. And they sit at your window side. They distort all manner of nonsense. At that age, this boy in my estimation should be more than 18. but in his teens, and others are 15, 16, and you see them making. Anytime a neighbor confronts this child, they would go and report to the mother. The mother would call this guy. The guy would come with his voice, talk.
Wow.
Threatening to beat the person. Dude, the last one that happened was 2 weeks ago. The man came to report something to me that the boy is so. Because I know the boy so much. I saw him this morning when I was even about this going out, driving out. This man came now complained something to me. Dude, I was in my compound hearing the sound of the boy has come with dogs. Trying to beat this man. If not for my intervention, dude, I quickly called the community polo chairman that came with some men that he tried to take this man to Abuja Estate. Yes, the man would have been killed. In our purpose, he was telling the man that he's going to kill the man, he's going to use the pot of his gun to hit the man's head, the man died. I'm telling you. So now imagine the kind of attitude he has built in this boy.
Yeah.
The boy doesn't rush. He asks that you can't dare not to this boy. He would tell the mother would shout, they would form up education. So I'm just imagining in 10 years and what this
be, yes. It's a very
the girl doesn't greet anybody. She doesn't greet anyone in the environment. Truth. This boy, assuming you come to mind, is a known contestant here. If I tell his name already and you ask, he will tell you. So imagine the kind of two children this boy has brought into this society. It's a known artist in town here as I'm talking to you. It's really unfortunate. Thank you for this topic.
So, Michael saying, well, sometimes it's even the parents that are to be blamed. How do you have a parent? You know, a lot of times I think maybe, is it the cinemas now? Maybe Hollywood and Nollywood movies maybe somehow have glorified these stereotypes. So some people look forward to being in that space. I think they equate it to having some form of power. It's not fame, it's notoriety. It's not fame. It's not cool. Hey, bro. Hey, what am I saying? What do I know? All right, messages now. Let's get to read a few of them. 0809 030 6416. 0809 030 6416. The only reason a child says such a thing or acts in that manner is they have learned from an adult that such behavior or speech is okay, funny, or even aspirational. It is different from when the child throws a tantrum because they are afraid, hungry, or uncomfortable, or when the child is called disrespectful for speaking up for themselves. I suggest when you see the fruit of evidence of actual parenting, penalize the parent. This one says, Jude, you'd be surprised to know that the children of the very famous and rich people are polite. Yes, they should be polite. You should be, taken to the best schools where you are taught, etiquette, proper etiquette, manners, decorum for certain behavior. I even hear, and I think I just read recently, that there's even etiquette for dining. What do you call it? Your meal, your plate position for dining tables. There's a way you put your spoon. It sends a message to the person who's serving you. There's a way you put your cutlery. They know that you are done or you are displeased. It's amazing. I didn't know that until recently. I don't know that. So yes, I expect that people who have money should be able to inculcate good manners to the wards. Hi, Jude. The rate at which most parents are breeding ill-mannered children lately is unspeakable. I can't even begin to express the mannerisms children exhibit when they visit the clinic on outpatient basis. Guess what? Their parents will be there and can't call them to order. The hope of achieving a sane society in the future is in trouble, as Celia says. Clement says, good morning, Jude. Monkey see, monkey do. are specialists in copy and paste. If you see a badly behaved child, his or her father or mother, 80% of mothers, are the architect of the behavior, including the children who have amazing characters. I don't usually blame badly behaved children. I just see the reflection of their parents. I hear one of them arrested her Nigerian parent, mother in America. Oh, the last video has been trending recently, right? The one where the daughter had a big fallout with the mother. She's been, in fact, for the past two or 3 weeks now, she's been recording her mother and their engagements. Not happy with you. I don't believe in your God. I don't believe in your religion. And the mother is, being African mother, insistent, in tears. But I think we will analyze that on Friday. All right. Okay. All right. Says anonymous here says, I'm not talking about learning etiquette and social graces for high society. That's a given. I'm talking about the way they relate with people. Some of the wealthiest people I've met in the UK have very respectful children. Oh, that's good. That's how we should be. That's how it should. It shows a sign of grace. It should be like that. So once again, how do you manage that? Now I go back to that story, right, of the boy who tapped the guy. Ace, please help me bring. Usually when we were taught, and I think the city children has to do that. We're taught to use our please and thank. In this instance, the way the boy used it didn't seem like a polite request. It was more or less like a command, more or less. Okay, I'm inconvenienced. I'd rather have you do it, but so that you don't feel too bad about it, let me say please. Ace, please help me bring this thing in my car. I don't want to go outside, it's too hot. And the guy was looking at him. It was like the young man was stunned. I was stunned. I was walking away. And I just heard, like, what? I turned, I was like, what? Who? Why? What? And I was very pleased. That the security man did not move, did not budge. He just looked at him and eventually shook his head. Even him. In fact, let me even give an applause to that guy. Let me just give an applause to that guy. Because I imagine what was going through his head. That this is my job. This is December. It won't be smart to lose your job during December, right? And I think by right, he's not meant to leave his post. That's a very delicate position. You're the security. Yes, you open doors for people and you greet them. But, you're not to move away from there, particularly for extended period of time. He was being asked to go into the car park to look for a car he doesn't know. What if he had a very bad machination? He had the car, he could have just, jumped, he had the keys rather, jumped into the car and driven off. Probably sold the car for maybe 200k just to be spiteful. But he didn't do that. He just looked at the boy, shook his head, and just stood. And the boy was looking at him like, but I just told you to do something. I can imagine. Anyway, once again, I'm ignorant. Please pay me no mind. Pay me no mind, please. 01792300002, 017923003. How do you manage badly behaved children in public? Now, on one hand, I think some of you are probably on the opinion that maybe it's the question is directed to the parents of the child. It's not. I'm talking about you. Everybody. How would you respond? Now, this one says one of the first problems that we have right now is the fact that people forget that it is the community that raises the child. Ideally, if a child is behaving badly, those who are older around that area should speak against that action and, if possible, call the parents to attention so that child will be corrected. But these days, everybody minds their business. Everybody wants to be alone. Well, thank you very much, Clifford. Everybody minds their business. Well, did I mind my business? Well, I think I responded based off of what the security man did, right? He just shook his head and didn't say anything. And I felt that was cool. Like, to me, that solved it. He did not think that person needed an answer. He did not. And I think it was pretty good to have given, to have paid such a disdainful comment a reply. So, yeah. Just let it be. Just let it be. That boy is just repeating what he learned. Some people today are happily dating women or men who are rude and dismissive to waiters, to staff, to maids, secretaries, drivers, and gatemen. And they are not saying anything because they are afraid of losing access to the money or position that comes when dating that person. What do you think they will teach any children that they have together? But we want to ask. So, let's say I wasn't the recipient of that bad behavior, right? What should I, as a concerned Nigerian, as a concerned Rivers resident, what should I do when I see a badly behaved person? I believe I shared a story with the public before about 4 years. Is that 4 years ago? Yeah, 4 years ago. I was in Abuja. I had an interview at the embassy. All right. So yes, I'm at meeting. I was trying to jackpot. I went for the interview, and whilst we're waiting, those of you who know the Abuja embassy very well, they bring you to a courtyard somewhere. It's nice, then you sit down, away from the sun, and then you come in, through some series of doors, yada yada yada. Whilst we're at that point, there was this couple with their children, a boy and a girl. The boy was much younger. The boy, I would place him around 5 or 6. The girl probably around 9 or 10. She looked like 2 or 3 years older. The boy was badly behaved. When I mean badly, I mean bad. He was running over the place. He was screaming. Everybody just kept wondering, what exactly is wrong with this child? Is he possessed? I looked around. Everybody was looking at this child. The father was aloof. He sat down a few paces away from them. The mother was always saying, come here, sit down. The boy would run. She would try and grab him. After a while, he would scram away. He would jump around. He would be crawling on the ground. But the daughter was well behaved. She would tell the daughter, sit down. The girl sits down. I'm sorry, mommy. The boy was just all over the place. The father would call him. He would come. After 2 minutes, the boy runs away. This went on for at least 30-45 minutes. I was irritated. And then an older woman, probably grandmother status, well, probably placed her in her early 60s or late 60s. She lost it. She screamed at the boy, saying, come here. The boy, all through this nonsense the boy was doing, nobody said anything. But this woman took her voice up, saying, my friend, come here. The boy froze. I said, come here. The boy was trying, the woman stood up. I said, come here. She was wearing glasses. I can't forget. Come here. The boy tried to, timidly walk. And then she called the mother and said, hold your son. What's wrong with you? And she pointed, said, look, if you stand up from here, I will make sure I send you outside. Do you want to go outside? The boy said, no. I said, good. In my mind, I was like, hey, heavens. Jude, bad children are not necessarily reflections of bad parents. Sometimes some children are just difficult. I know some parents who have done everything good, who are kind, who are gentle, but somehow they've been able to raise very terrible children. It's good you do good for your children. My brother, who bad, go bad. Isaac. Who bad, go bad. Really? Diamond Promise on Facebook at Nigeria Info Page. By the way, at Nigeria Info Page says, if I see a child misbehaving in public, I will want the child to stop. If the child refuses, I will punish him severely and then I'll apologize later and tell him the reason I punished him, just like a kind of advice. What if the child is not your child? I'm curious. What if the child is not your child? What if? In story with us at the U.S. Embassy, it was an older woman that took charge of the situation. I could see the vexation on the faces of almost everybody that day. We were all disgusted. Before I leave, let me ask you, those of you who have children who are probably between 8 and 12, someone was to criticize your parenting, madam, hold your pikin, Sabi, how would that make you feel? How? My name is Jude. Thank you as always. Please, we need to do better for our children. There's still time. There's still time.
To thrive in a fast-changing world.
Tune in to 92.3 Nigeria Info for the best of news, talk and sports 24/7. The show continues after this break on Nigeria Info.